A very good morning to all of you. As you all know that our lesson number 10, the sermon at Benares, is continued. Yesterday I explained you that Kissa Gautami could not bring a handful of mustard seed because she found no such house where people had never died. She realized human fate was like flickering lights. She realized that death was everywhere. She approached every house and she came to know that someone near and dear had died there. So now she realized that death is everywhere. It is common to all, and she was selfish in her own grief. Now she understood all this. Now proceed further. Page number 134. Last paragraph. The Buddha said, the life of mortals in this world, mortal means those who are bound to die. Human beings are bound to die, so they can be termed as the mortals. The Buddha said, the life of mortals in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain. Buddha gave a lesson that the human life is full of problems, full of troubles. It is short and it is combined with pain. For there is not any means, no way, not any means by which those that have born can avoid dying. So he preached that death is certain, there is no way, one cannot avoid death. After reaching old age, there is death. Of such a nature are living beings. Living beings, they are bound to die. As ripe, here the comparison is done with the ripe fruits. As ripe fruits are early in danger of falling. When the fruits ripe, they fall down. So mortals I told you, human beings, when born are always in danger of death. Their death is certain. As all earthen, second comparison is done with the earthen vessels. Vessels are the pot, earthen made of clay. As all earthen vessels, as all clay pots made by the potter, one who makes these pots is called potter, and in being broken, they all broke. So is the life of mortals. So human life is compared with the ripe fruits and the earthen pots. They are bound to vanish, they are bound to end. Both young and adult, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall into the power of death. All are subject to death. Whether a person is young or adult, whether a person is wise or a fool, he or she is bound to end, bound to death. Of those who overcome by death, depart from life, a father cannot save his son, or kinsmen their relations. No one can overcome this problem. Even the father cannot save his son, even the relatives cannot save their relations, their relatives. Mark, note, while relatives are looking on and lamenting, lamenting here you can say they are grieving, they are feeling sorrow, they are regretting. Relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply. One by one, mortals are carried off. They feel sad, but even then, one by one, human beings are carried away. Carried away means they die. like an ox that is led to the slaughter. Again, comparison is done with an ox that is taken to the slaughter. Slaughter here means killing. As the ox is taken for killing, likewise human beings, they are aggressing, they are approaching towards their death. So, the word is afflicted. Afflicted with means affected by suffering and disease, or you can say with pain. So, the word is afflicted with death and decay, full of sorrow because of death and decay. Therefore, the wise do not grieve. It is certain. So, the wise person do not grieve. They do not feel sorrow for it, knowing the terms of the word, that this is the law of the word, these are the norms and the condition, these are the terms of the word. So, they do not lament for it. Not from weeping nor from grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind. A lesson is given. If we weep, if we feel sad, if we grieve, if we lament, even then peace of mind we cannot attain. On the contrary, on the other side, his pain will be greater and his body will suffer. What will be the result? The pain will increase. We will not get mental peace, and even we will become sick. Our body will also suffer for this. He will make himself sick and pale. By grieving, he himself will become pale and sick. Yet the dead are not saved by his lamentation. Dead persons, they cannot be saved by his regretting, by his grief, by his weeping, by his feeling sad. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation. One who wants peace of mind, what he should do? He should seek out, take out the arrow of lamentation, the arrow of grief, the arrow of sadness and complaint. He must not complain. What has happened? He knows this thing, that it was certain. So, he must not grumble, he must not complain, he must not grieve. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed. Composed means calm. One who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed will obtain peace of mind. One who has drawn out, taken out this arrow of grief, he will become calm and will get the peace of mind. He who has overcome, overcome here means conquered, to conquer. So, one who has conquered all sorrow means all grief, will become free from sorrow. One who is able to control this instinct, he will be feeling peace of mind only and be blessed. He will be considered as the blessed one. That is all in this sermon which Buddha gave in Banaras at the bank of Gangas. Yesterday, students, I gave you extract based 5 questions. I hope you all must have done your homework. Your first question was, why did Kissa Gautami travel from house to house? Its answer is to collect mustard seeds. Question number 2 was, what did Kissa Gautami ask before taking the mustard seeds? What was her question? Whether a family member had ever died in their family or not. Question number 3, why could she not get mustard seeds from any house? She could not get mustard seeds because there was no such house where no beloved one had died. Question number 4, find the exact word from the extract which mean dearly loved. The word in the extract is beloved. Beloved is its answer. Then question number 5 was, who was Kisa Gautami? What happened to her? The question is in two parts. Who was Kisa Gautami? Kisa Gautami was an unfortunate mother. What happened to her? Her only son had died. So, these were the answers of your questions. Now, your today's homework, your reference to context questions I am giving. Your extract begins as ripe fruits and ends subject to death. It is from page number 135. I have explained today. Your first question, who are called mortals? Question number 2, mortals have been compared to two things. What are they? You have to mention the two things. Question number 3, in what way are mortals like ripe fruits? Question number 4, how is the fate of human beings similar to earthen vessels? Question number 5, what is the most powerful thing according to Buddha? So, go through the lesson, answer these questions in your notebooks. That is all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.